What is up, people? We are live. Aaron the dog and Bunny back with another UFC breakdown, another UFC fight night. That is Aspen Ladd taking on Norma Dumont in the main event, amongst many other fights. I think this is a very under the radar card for many, but definitely not for my fellow host. To my left or right, I don't know which way, but Bunny herself, Boston Comments. How are you doing? I almost got it right.
Fantastic. I'm so happy to be here, as always.
Yeah. Chat's bumping. Everybody's been interacting. Mo.
Look at everyone in the chat already. Are you serious?
Yeah. Mo mentioned up here he's excited about, let me make sure I get it right. The bunny. Here we go. Here for the bunny breakdown. Yeah, that is true. I'm just here for the bunny breakdown as well. Miz as well, giving some love. Obviously, elbow cough, as always, my favorite thing in the world. But yeah, how was last week for you? How about going? No big deal. Just 7-9.
7-9.
Real quick, both of us cashing on the main event underdog. And shout out to Lewis of Norton MMA. It is 12:40 in England right now, and he's up watching the breakdown. So I like these English MMA fans, they're all savages, first of all, with what they have to go through every week to watch. But yeah, shout out. We did the Bellator breakdown earlier today and absolutely killed it.
That was wonderful. That was a wonderful breakdown.
Yeah. Davis giving love to the microphone. Hopefully we can get some love for the breakdowns as well. Yeah. Miz, yeah, I agree. Lewis is a G, and I'm happy to get to work with him. Yes. And yeah, he's looking at him all amped at 12:40 at night for a UFC Fight Night breakdown. This is the type of people I like to work with, as well as you, Bunny. So super pumped about the card. Gonna say that every week, so I guess people can comment that if they want and say, you say that every week. You're right, because I am pumped every week. So it's worth saying every week. But yeah, this is an interesting one. I'll get this out of the way before the main event. I think it's weird that Aspen Ladd is getting rewarded with a main event after missing weight. I'm going to assume they went to Macy Chazon first, and she's like, I don't want to fight at 145. Then they kind of were left with no options. But either way, kind of weird move. But the UFC has to put on shows every single Saturday, or it doesn't have to, but they are. And I mean, this is, I think, one of the deeper fight nights of the year, actually, when you really dig into it. So I'm sure you agree.
It's a dope card. I don't know why anyone's talking shit about this card.
Yeah, and then Mo mentioning, again, shout out to Bunny's last breakdown. I need to change the name of the show to the Bunny Breakdown because you killed it last week, 7-9. I also went 7-9, but that's okay. We're all in this together. It's you killed it. We killed it. Shout out to Marina. Shout out to Lupita Godinez, who was going to join the breakdown tonight, but she ended up having a little bit of plans, which maybe we'll talk about here in like 2 fights. She took another fight on a week's notice. Breaking the record set by Kazmat Chimaev last year. So shout out to Lupita. It's crazy to see how far she has come.
Can we even count Chimaev's record at the moment? Because he hasn't been.
I mean, he did fight twice. He did fight
from the record.
He did fight twice in 10 days. We can't not count that.
I know.
But, I know. But anyways, before I get kicked off of my show, the Bunny Breakdown, are going into this week. I'm going to start keeping track going into this week. And I think 7-9 is a good starting point. So we're both at 7-9. So best of luck.
That's the expectation now, 7-9.
Yeah. We got 11 fights here. I'm expecting an 8 of 11 minimum.
That's right.
So, yeah, I'm definitely ready to hop into this breakdown. Thank you, everybody, again in the chat And yeah, appreciate everybody very, very much. I will be keeping track of timestamps, and yeah, let's go ahead and get on started at the strawweight division. We have 11 fights breaking down from the Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. Starting at strawweight, as I said, Ariane Carnelossi, taking on Islatella Nunes. Got to just warm up, and they give me Carnelossi to warm up with. Very nice of them. Actually, fun fact about Carnelossi, she was the first fighter I saw when when I was in Jacksonville, I should say, for UFC 264, I believe. So yeah, we'll get to her fight with Nan Ling here in a second, but Islatella Nunes, the Brazilian, I will be breaking it on first. 7-1, 29 years old. Kind of odd, has not fought since July of 2018, fighting out Parnaia Vale Tudo in Curitiba, Brazil. 5'4", couldn't get a reach on her. Again, hasn't fought in over 3 years, kind of weird. And has, other than Angela Lee is an absolute savage, so there's no shame in getting choked out by her. Hasn't faced too notable of competition. Faced one fighter with a 15-9 record who I don't think she actually won that fight. I went back and watched that with me, Yamaguchi. And then Jean Inyong is her last win. She was scheduled to fight Angela Hill back in 2019. Nunes got injured. She was supposed to fight Jinyu Frey, and she withdrew back in July. So I don't know if they just are tied up with a contract or what, but facing Ariane Carnelossi now. Carnelossi is very impressive. She is absolutely shredded. I can't believe she makes 115 so comfortably. But yeah, I mean, she seems to, yeah, she's shredded, and she hits absolutely hard. As many know who've gone to the events before, the early prelims especially, there's not a lot of people in there. So I was the first one into the event, as always. And Ariana, you could just hear her punches rattling through the bones of Nan Ling, the last fighter she faced. And I actually had picked Ling Na in that fight. But Carnelossi, 28 years old now, or only 28 years old now, 5'2", 61.5-inch reach, definitely more compact, built like a 115 Andrade, which Andrade should fight at 115, which is terrifying. Fought back in April, obviously, as I mentioned, I was there on the 24th of this year. Inside Muay Thai is her gym in Brazil here. So we're going to have definitely maybe a little more gas on these two because it is the fellow countrywomen going at each other. But Carnelossi was looking good against Angela Hill before the stoppage, actually. It was a pretty close fight, and so that's definitely not a fight to hang your head on. I was scheduled to fight Mackenzie Dern, and then I believe it was COVID. Yeah, COVID knocked it out. And then, again, came back against Ling Na. Looked really good second round, ground and pound. Yeah, a few better wins prior to that, like Loya DePaula and others. And I just think Carnelossi is going to physically be able to get Nunes to the ground. And I just think there's a serious difference in the striking and groundwork from Carnelossi. So I think Carnelossi takes this all day. And I like finish the second round TKO.
Oh, TKO. I like it. I mean, prelims always somehow end up with a finish. I feel like more often than not, this finishes in prelims, which I fucking love.
Yep.
Carnelossi's she's fucking built, dude. Look at her fucking biceps and her shoulders. She's scary. I disagree, though. I think a loss against Angela Hill is... I'm not a fan of Angela Hill, dude. She's lanky. She's not that powerful. I'm not a fan. So I think that was...
well, I'm not a fan of Angela Hill either, but she's only lost to the best, and she's beaten everybody else.
I just still not... All right.
It's okay. No, this is why but yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, it was still a fight she was well within reach of winning before the cut.
She still was. That's why it was irritating. I think I picked Canelesi to win, so it was annoying that. Whatever. Because Angela Hill, I know her record's great. I don't like the way she fights. I know she's tough. On the other hand, Nunez, though it might be hard to go against anyone named Nunez, related or not, it's ring rust is a big thing, and she's like Matt. She's so inactive. Yeah, it's hard to go against Brazil. They're both Brazilian, so I'm also gonna go Ariana because she's so powerful and scary. But there was a part of me that wanted to go 7-1. So let's go Ariana. But I'm gonna say I don't know how it's gonna end.
Well, okay.
I'm gonna say decision. I think these two can take it to the finish. So let's say.
I have no idea what to expect about Nunez here. This is the thing, is that
that's why she's so inactive. Like you haven't seen her in the recent years.
She hasn't fought in 3 years, and I wasn't that impressed by what I did see. So it's where I'm, gonna kind of trust the more regular fighter, the fighter I saw live, and how impressive she looked. She really looked good against a decent opponent in Ningla, and I just think Carnelossi, this is where I'm going to talk about odds real quick, so you can just, go ahead and tune out. But she's a -165 favorite. I think that is a super good parlay piece. You also can bet that straight up, which I would. I would bet her inside the distance as well to cut the value. +135 on Nunez. I watched her fights. I'm not seeing how she's going to be able to withstand Carnelossi's pressure and power here. I just think there's a major rhythm advantage also for Carnelossi. She's faced a better level of competition. Sorry, Mom, I'm not going to be able to answer your call right now. I guess she's not. I guess she's not watching the podcast.
Answer your mother.
I will call her back.
You tell her. Oh, wait! Quick shout out to Glassjaw Podcast. They've been very supportive.
Okay, but I agree. Okay. Well, Glassjaw, I agree. Angela is not that notable of a fight. She's very up and down when it comes to performance.
Colby.
Again, I just don't think. I think show me the more notable fight on Nunez's record, and I guess I'll back off. But I don't think you can show me that, and that's why I was bringing it up, because it's relevant to that. But Carnelossi -165, I love it. I think it's a great bet, and I'm pretty confident in that fight. But maybe Nunez comes out and looks like a different fighter. We did just see on the Contender Series Silva, who fought last night, and she hadn't fought in a few years, and she looked absolutely outstanding. So it's something.
Week 7 Contender Series was so good last night. So good.
Yep, 4 of 5, by the way, and I did a solo morning breakdown, so not bad. 4 of 5. Missed on one dog. Yeah, so I'll definitely take that all day long. But we are in agreement, although I seem a little more confident in Carnelossi than you do. And I've now been painted into being an Angela Hill defender, which is my ultimate nightmare. So thanks a lot, everybody. But we'll move on now to the bantamweight division. A good fight between Brandon Davis, who Bunny and I both know Brandon Davis, fun fact, and Danaa Bajiri. This is not either one of us. Neither one of us know this Brandon Davis. You guys always do a show when I'm at a concert. Sorry, Justin. Weird time to go.
We always do it on a Wednesday or Thursday, so
it's a very weird time for a concert. Right now, is it like a middle school band concert? What are you?
Holland Oates or something?
hey, there's nothing wrong with a little Holland Oates.
But they're early birds,
But yeah, here we are at bantamweight. Sorry about the. Sorry, you're at a concert, Justin. You can watch it back on replay.
And you're still here, Justin, though. So.
Yep. Exactly. We're better than any concert.
Fuck you. I didn't DM you, Justin.
Oh, my. Brandon Davis, Killer B, 14-8 out of Mississippi, 31 and a half years old, making his return to the UFC. 5'10", 72-inch reach, taking on Danaa Bajiri. Bajiri, 32 years old, nicknamed Storm, out of Mongolia, one of the few, if not only Mongolian fighters, I believe. Bajiri is another fighter who I got to see in Jacksonville, and I got to see him get a knockout. So he's now fighting Jackson Wink John on 2-fight win streak, 9-2. Lost his debut in a fight of the night to Haley Alatang. Really good fight there, honestly. Has gone on to knock out Guido Canetti and Kevin Natividad with first-round left hooks. So ended up dodging Kyler Phillips and now Montel Jackson in his 2 fights that were scheduled. So a little bit of fortune there, if I'm being honest, to get to fight Guido Canetti and Kevin Natividad and not fight Kyler Phillips and Montel Jackson. Now taking on Brandon Davis. Besides that, though, Bajiri, he seems to have kind of found a rhythm, has a very good left hook. Obviously, it's been able to finish a few fights here. He has a decent overall game. He's got a win over Kai Kara France prior to the UFC, which is very impressive to see. Good level of competition overall. All 3 of his UFC fights have been competitive. Good technical fighter, but don't really know how he does outside of the first round since these wins. So those first round wins are good, but a guy like Brandon Davis, as you can see from the picture, he's gonna take some shots, but he keeps coming. He's 14-8. This is his second go around in the UFC. 5'10". He's fought at featherweight. In fact, in his last fight back in August, he fought at bantamweight against Josh Huber, a 24-11 fighter for Gulf Coast MMA. Knocked him out in the first round. Fought at featherweight prior to that in March, so seemed to make it down to bantamweight no problem. Was prepared to go 5 rounds. Finished in the first round. His losses are to pretty good competition.
Yeah.
Barzola, fantastic. Even Kyle Bochniak, Boston
Giga.
product. Yep. Giga, Zabit Magomed, Shapirov, Kwang Ho Kang. None of those are bad fighters at all. But and does have a win over Randy Costa. Beat Randy Costa before Adrian Yanez did, and he choked him on the second round. Randy Costa was known as kind of a first-round finisher, was on a hot streak. This could be similar. Brandon Davis wins pretty ugly when he wins, but he can surprise a lot of people, I think. And with Bajiri, he knocked out 2 pretty washed opponents, in my opinion. Kevin Natividad, not sure if he ever belonged on the scene. And, Guido Canetti was like 42 years old, I think, when he knocked him out. And, again, first-round knockouts are pretty, but we don't know what happens when the pace gets pushed, when the gas is a little exposed, when the going gets a little tough. So he's been controlled with the grappling before. I think Brandon Davis can grapple him again. And, I've been back and forth on this one. I'm really tempted to go with Brandon Davis, though. But I'm going to go with Bajiri. I'm going to trust that Bajiri has learned from his debut. His debut was really close. He could have honestly gotten the nod, even though it was unanimous for Haley Alatang. I went back and watched that fight, and he defended his takedowns very well as the fight went on. So, I'm going to go with Bajiri. He keeps it going, and I'm going to pick another KO. I hate to do it because I love Brandon Davis. Both the one I know, I assume the one you know is lovely, and this one. But, I'm going to go with Bajiri by KO, and I'm going to pick another round 2 finish.
Cool. I like where we disagree, Aaron. I really do. I don't know why. Every time we disagree, I think I like it, even though I throw a fit. Yeah. I like it because so everybody needs somebody in their corner. I'm going Brandon Davis. I'm going with a finish. Word, Sabrina. Word.
Appreciate it.
Word. Really pretty, Sabrina. Hit me up. I'm going Brandon Davis. I like Muay Thai. I like Jiu-Jitsu. Brandon Davis is a pro in both. As you can see in his record, he's had a loss to a lot of big guys. We've got a round 1 finisher with Mr. Mongolia, so it's a tough bid. It's a tough bid. 9-2, 14-8. I like American Top Team too. There's a lot of camps that I simp over. American Top Team happens to be one of them.
You're going to be simping over a lot of fighters if you got ATT as a camp.
That's right. That. This and Syndicate. There's a lot of Syndicate fighters on here too. Or I think there were 2.
And if I'm not mistaken, Bajiri is training out of Jackson Winklejohn. So 2 very good camps. And this is American Top Team, but this is the American Top Team in Mississippi. So this is not the Coconut Creek American Top Team. So there are levels to American Top Teams here. And that one has many less kind of training opponents that you're used to. Or
I love them all.
Well, there's levels to them. Some of them are very not good.
Brandon Davis is pretty fucking good, dude. I mean, 14-8 sucks, but his losses have been.
I mean, he takes any fight and he's taking some short notes for sure.
Yeah, all right,
that's fair enough. Dana Bajiri is the favorite in this fight, -170. So very close odds again. Plus 140 on Brandon Davis. Definitely is getting respect. And there's always, a different type of fighter that comes back in their second go around with the UFC, which this is for Brandon Davis. We've seen with several fighters who've even had pretty bad luck their first time around come back and really be strong. Bajiri's on a little bit of a roll here, but against very soft competition. So not soft, but not the best competition, with all due respect. So
a lot of Davis's losses have gone the distance too. So he's had a lot of experience going. He's got cardio. So
yep, exactly. So if Bajiri's not able to put him away early, how does he respond to that? Does he have the cardio to keep it going for 10 to 15 minutes?
This is a cool one because we've got the round one finisher who, that's where his sweet spot is. So he could easily get Davis in the round one. But then we have the adverse of that, which is Brandon Davis, who is very capable of gassing out his opponent. So this is going to be a cool fight regardless, even if it does go the distance.
Yep.
And you picked Mongolia. I keep saying Mongolia. You picked Dana, and I picked.
Yeah, did not Bajiri.
Yeah, and I picked. Yeah.
Yep, that is our first disagreement. So the 7 and 9 will be broken after that fight, and I will be keeping track each week of that as we go forward.
Hi, Aaron. The clipboard holds all secrets.
I love it. But we're going to move on to the next fight. That is a totally fair disagreement. I think we're going to have quite a few disagreements on this card. It's the beauty of MMA. It's the beauty of this show. If we were just an echo chamber, it'd be pretty boring. So next fight is at 145. This is my fight of the night, honestly. Ludovic Klein taking on Nate Ledware at 145. Bunny is taking care of the comments. I am going to go down here and this is, I just think, a tremendous fight. Ludovic Klein, the Slovakian representative, 17-3, 26 years old. 5'7", 72-inch reach, taking on the American out of Clarksville, Tennessee, 33-year-old Nate Ledware, 145, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach out of SSF Submission Academy, Spartacus Fight Gym for Ludovic, Mr. Highlight. Klein versus The Train. I will be breaking down Nate The Train first, 14-4. Lost his last fight out to Juicy J, Julian Erosa, who's on a little bit of a hot streak right now. No real shame there, and it was stopped pretty early on. I think it was a legit stoppage, but stopped less than a minute into the fight. Nate just ducked right into a flying knee that kind of put him out, and then Nate tried to argue the stoppage, but I wasn't too convinced. That was back in February of this year. He was supposed to come back up against Makwan Amirkhani. Had I believe a knee injury that kept him out for a few months. And that was only in June. He's coming back in October. That is one of the things I'm a little bit worried about. But yeah, Nate Ledware has a win over Darren Elkins. That's super impressive. We've seen Darren Elkins still very much with it. Again, ran into a knee against Herbert Burns. He just seems to have a weakness.
He tracks knees, dude.
Yeah. It's like you look at his forehead, and it's pretty big target for knees. He's got a 5 head.
So is mine, though. So
yeah.
nice.
Well, just avoid that. I am being nice. I'm just avoid knees, buddy, by all means. He does have a win over Kazamat, albeit Dalgiev, 10-1 fighter. He knocked him out. He has a few knockouts on the M1 scene. He was an M1 champion, which as an American, very impressive to do over in the Russian circuit. They're by no means giving him easy fights or favorable judging. So I give him a ton of credit for how he earned his stripes over into the UFC. I think that he's had a little bit of a rough go with the knees attracted to his forehead lately. So it's caused people to undervalue him. But this guy's a fight of the night maker. I mean, I think that he's super tough when he's not getting hit with knees in his forehead, in all seriousness. And Ludovic, not going to throw knees. He's going to throw tons of high kicks. Beautiful kickboxing. I mean, he's Mr. Highlight for a reason. His highlight reel is fun. His fights are fun to watch. He's a little powerhouse. Last fought in May, coming off of a loss to Mike Trizano. Mike Trizano is just he's a tricky guy, and I think that Ludovic learned a lot from that fight. He was by no means dominating that fight. He's just outcrafted by Trizano, who was really coming back fighting desperate before that. Shane Young, the knockout, was very impressive first round. He was coming off of several finishes in a row, 3 of them being first round finishes, one of a 13-1 William Lima, which was super impressive. Head kicked fighter with 55 fights, 57 fights. Finished him in the 3rd round. So finishing guys with tons of experience. First round finish of former UFC fighter Lucas Sajewski. Honestly, I just really like Ludovic's striking. I think that the type of guy who's going to beat him is a guy like Trizano, who's going to kind of mix it up and make Ludovic think and be hesitant on his striking. While I think in this fight, both guys are going to be trading. It could be whoever goes down first, which Nate has tons of heart, tons of toughness, and really good power. But I just think Ludovic is a little better. He's going to be slicker. He's going to be quicker. And I like Ludovic to get the finish. And, fuck it. I'm going to take another 2nd round TKO here for Ludovic Klein, Mr. Highlight. So I think this is going to be awesome until it's over. I think Trizano arguably won that fight, but it was a close fight. But, yeah, I got Ludovic. What's your thoughts on this fight, Bunny? I just feel like I was talking
yours, my friend. I don't have the round, but I do have Slovakia by knockout.
Okay.
I think that fucking Slovakia and Spartacus in the same sentence under one name sounds fucking terrifying. So just going on that alone. But like I said, Nate seems to attract those flying fucking knees. And he had a decision win over Arosa in 2020, and that was pretty much. There isn't much else to see before that. So Klein is a pretty active fighter, and I just liked what I saw from him. He's got a reach advantage slightly, I think, height deficit, but I'm going Slovakia by knockout. I just don't have a round.
Yeah. I mean, this is one that I'm a little bit worried about for a few reasons. It's going to be odds talk real quick. So, first of all,
I'm past that now. I'm ready for
that's the joke. That's the joke. I know you're past it. Minus 325 for Ludovic Klein.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I do not like that. I don't agree with that at all. It's a little bit. It's a very, very out of whack and kind of recency bias against Nate Ledware. Nate Ledware is a former M1 champion. He's very good, very tough, and this is a fight where if Ludovic isn't able to fight the fight within his range, he can't get off the kicks he needs. He can't get off the strikes he needs, and Ledware really can easily get a finish or a decision. He fights both very well. He's very experienced. I do think that the odds are kind of making this tough to bet. You can get Nate Ledware at a plus 250. I'm frankly a little bit tempted to bet that. I'll be honest. Just because sometimes you gotta when it's a close fight like this and the odds are that out of whack. I mean, this is saying that Ludovic wins like 80% of the time, and that's just not the case. But my official pick is Ludovic. My advice would be not to bet it though, or bet it very lightly.
Do you really see Nate? Like, what do you think the odds should be against Nate? Like, if you were to make the odds here, what would you make them as? Because
I make Ludovic Klein like a minus 170 favorite. You think
it's a little bit
about
crazy.
half this. about half this. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I mean, it's just one of these where, I mean, Ludovic is not coming off a fight where he looked terrible. He did win it though. So, or lose it. But I mean, it was a competitive fight and he has a ton of highlights, but Nate Ledware is just, I think, of people that the betting public are going to bet against often, just based on kind of how he looks and presents himself, if I'm being honest. And that's just sometimes how it goes. And so just bet this one cautiously. I do think I will pick Ludovic. I do think this has potential to be fight of the night. And with it being fight of the night, I do think it could go either way. And those odds are just a little bit out of whack at minus 325. But we've got a very, very fun next fight to break down. We got 2 weeks in a row of breaking down Lupita Godinez fights.
Yes, dude!
There's no other fighter in the world to ever fight that you can say that about. That we are breaking down in back-to-back weeks. So, historic moment here on the Bunny Breakdown Show, as it's called. Yeah, Lupita Godinez taking on Luana Carolina, not only 2 weeks in a row, but she's moving up to flyweight. This girl is crazy. 5'2", by the way, Lupita Godinez is. Not exactly a big strawweight, definitely not a big flyweight, but she's been tossing around opponents. She's not worried about it. Luana Carolina, the Brazilian, she's taking on this weekend, this Saturday, for a second fight in 2 weeks. Luana Carolina, 28 years old, 5'6", 69-inch reach. Actually weighed in at 128.5 pounds for her last fight, and it was a win. She ended up beating Poliana Buantello. However, yeah, she didn't make weight. It was a flyweight fight that she weighed 128.5 pounds for. Poliana Buantello, by the way, has fought at strawweight before, and Luana won a split decision. It was a very mediocre fight, to put it nicely. Before that, she got a wicked knee bar against Aravlovsky put on her. It's a very famous highlight people have probably seen several times, and she won against Priscilla Cachoeira. So her wins are against Priscilla Cachoeira and Poliana Buantello. Frankly, two of the ladies that I rate low to lowest in the entire organization, part of many stake fights. And yeah, there's levels to this, indeed, Ms. And
Lupi will win, Thamiris. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I think that Luana Carolina, she's a very good Muay Thai striker, and that's about it. She really kind of suffers from the rest of her game being pretty one-dimensional. She seems pretty green, has not fought a very high level of opponent in Brazil. In the UFC, she has beaten Priscilla Cachoeira and Poliana Buantello. Lupita would beat both of those girls on back-to-back weekends. Also on back-to-back weekends, she beat Luana Carolina, and that's what she needs to do this weekend. We just broke down Lupi last weekend, 6-1 now instead of 5-1, 5'2", 61-inch reach. She's not going to have to worry about a large weight cut, though, and I do think she has the strength, wrestling needed, as well as the grappling. She showed it last week against Silvana Gomez Juarez and Jessica Penne.
That was a thing of beauty, man.
Yeah, and I just think the wrestling is also a thing of beauty. The double legs from Lupita, she's throwing opponents in each of her fights so far, and I'm going to predict she throws a flyweight in this fight in Luana Carolina. I think she gets the takedown, works the ground and pound, and gets the finish by submission, and I think she gets the finish in round 1. I think Lupi makes quick business and makes history here with back-to-back weeks and victories. Love to see it, and all the best to Lupita this week in preparation. I'm not sure if her coach is staying with her or not, but I believe he is after he made the trip down last second. So, yeah, I like Lupita. This is a Lupita podcast, obviously. So,
I have no bias towards.
Yeah, I've picked against people who are my people plenty of times.
So all I'm saying is it is the year of Mexico, and I'm telling you, Lupi's about to do something historical. And are you texting me that it's still echoey? Because it is. Is it still echoey?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Damaris, it's hard for me to go against Brazil. Trust me. But this one is all loopy. She just proved height and reach deficits don't matter to her. She will just like she'll swallow you up and tap you out. So I think this is loopy, easy by finish, and I'm gonna go ahead and say another sub. I think she's out there. It's tough because she just fought, you know what I mean? But she's a freaking spitfire, dude. I don't even need to break down Loopy. I'm team Loopy as well.
Yeah.
I think it is the year of Mexico.
Mexico Canadian.
Excuse me, Mexico. What she represents Mexico. She's rocking that Mexican flag, so.
And Canada.
And I don't know, Brandon. I'm still mad at Brandon, so I refuse to say Canadian. And
okay.
You just deal with that.
Well, he unblocked you on, Instagram, I heard.
I'll show you the messages and we'll talk.
Oh, my.
We'll talk after the messages.
Oh my! It's getting warm in here.
She's got no quit in her. I'm saying Loopy, and I'm going by sub. How fun would that be if she had two of those back to back?
Yeah, her first sub last week. I'd love to see her second sub this week.
But
Lupita,
she almost had a dip. She almost had a choke before she had that armbar. She was looking seasoned in that last fight. So now she's like fresh off experience of what's so fucking funny, Aaron?
Nothing.
What are you laughing at?
I was laughing at a joke I heard earlier.
I'm sure you were. Go ahead.
No, I was listening. So I was looking at the odds, and Lupita is.
What is she?
I feel like I'm in trouble.
You are in trouble. That's funny.
I don't know. I'm just happy to be doing this breakdown. But I looked at the odds, and it's just crazy. I saw in the comments Killswitch go drama LOL, and then I did not get busted. I didn't do anything.
They're all laughing. What happened? I just want to know. I want to know what you're laughing at. That's all.
I'll talk to you after the breakdown about it. I don't want to say it on air. I'll text it to you.
Right now.
Okay. But, look at Concert Boy's back.
They want to know too, man. They want to know.
I'm not going to say it on air, but Lupita.
Is that lie down or something? Did I
everything's in. Everything's good. Lupita is a minus 285 favorite. In back-to-back weeks to be a minus 285 favorite, that is just so complimentary of her skill at 6-1 as well. Plus 225 on Luana Carolina. Definitely a big underdog, but I believe for a reason. I think that Lupita is gonna throw her around. And okay. It's just you just gotta remember I had another breakdown earlier today, so I'm just a little slap happy. And so it's like this is my 15th or 16th fight to break down today. So that's
28 fights in one day, like it was nothing. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but I'm human, Bunny. I am human.
No.
And also, we are moving on to the next fight here. All the best to Lupita. She will be joining us on the show very soon. So I'm looking forward to catching up with her again. It's always good to talk with Lupita. I adore her. I think she's fantastic. And to see her rise through the ranks has been really special to watch. It's special for all of them, but, means something extra to see someone so kind like her. Speaking of kind, Bunny, what are you texting? Who are you texting? Great.
I want to know what the fuck's going on.
Oh, God. Moving on, though, let me just change the timestamp note real quick. Moving on to the next fight here at the 170 welterweight division. I don't know what's going on either, Miz. Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts taking on Ramazan Imaev this could be a pretty boring fight or an exciting fight. Depends on who has their way, I think. Ramazan Imaev is 20-4, 34 years old, 170, 5'10", 68.5-inch reach, very short reach compared to the 6'1", 74-inch reach of Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts. That's a 5.5 reach advantage for Danny Roberts, 34-year-old out of the UK, 17-5. 22 fights to 24, so pretty similar level of experience. Ramazan is out of Russia, fighting out of Dagestan, so we know he's going to have the wrestling. Pretty solid, albeit conventional striking. 2 straight wins over Nicholas Stoltz and David Zawada. Nicholas Stoltz just got absolutely flatlined by Jared Gooden recently. David Zawada also coming off a loss, got split against him. Lost a decision to Anthony Rocco Martin. Not great. Stefan Sekulic, okay win. Alberto Mina and Sam Alvey, okay wins. He's just not really faced a high level of UFC opponent, but he's beat who's in front of him. Has a win over Anatoly Tokov on the regional scene. That's very impressive. Honestly, Ramazan is just kind of a guy who he wins, goes in there, does his business, just cage pressure, wins decisions, good wrestling. I do think that Danny Roberts, if he can keep the striking at distance, push the pace a little bit, pepper in the leg kicks. The leg kicks seem to really work for Anthony Rocco Martin. Danny Roberts does have the ability to throw leg kicks, throws long strikes. Danny Roberts is a little older, but I do believe he's the one who will have the cardio advantage here, 17-5. He's also coming off of a win by knockout against Imadiev Zalim, who ended up being a little bit of a busted prospect, honestly, but put him away in the first round. Had a rough go of it with Michel Pereira, walked right into a flying knee and punches in Pereira's debut. Claudio Silva did what Claudio Silva does, use that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Also has a split decision win over David Zawada. So what that pretty much tells me is these guys are pretty similar level of competition. Should be a pretty close fight. Could very well be close to a split. I want Danny Roberts to win. I think Imiev wins by decision.
Aaron, look what's written here. Imiev by decision. Isn't that
nice?
Nice?
Small world. There we go. There we go.
I also think there's super equal level competition here. I mean, most of fucking Roberts, excuse me for swearing. Most of Roberts.
No, you can. What the fuck? What did you fucking just say?
Most of Roberts' wins were in like the 2013 to 2015, and then it got a little choppy. So it's kind of lackluster on both ends. It's a little choppy, unreliable, sporadic. So I'm saying Imiev by decision as well, but it definitely could go either way. But that's my final pick.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I said that's my final pick, bro.
That's your final answer. So we're going with a very unconfident Imiev. I think that when both guys have a split win over Dave Zawada, that kind of lets me know like how close this fight's about to be. So it should be an interesting one. The odds here are insane. And they're making me want to definitely take a shot at Danny Roberts. Danny Roberts is a plus 220 underdog, minus 300 Ramazan Imiev.
I hate Vegas. I really do. I hate everything about them.
This is where if you're feeling froggy, bet the dog here. My advice is dog or pass on this fight. My official pick is Imiev by decision, but if it's a split, I'm going to take a shot at the plus 220 underdog if I'm betting it, to be honest, because it's worth the gamble. I do think Roberts has the better finishing ability here. I think Imiev ends up getting to be the favorite by being from Russia a lot of the times, but also has only one loss in the UFC, so 5 wins. He's no slouch. He's just not super impressive with how he wins, but that in and of itself to me is impressive when you can kind of be lackluster with your wins but continue to have success over and over again. You're doing something right. So, we are both going with Imiev here. this is a lot of agreements for my taste, but we make our picks separately, much to disagreement.
Disagreements or agreements? Because we're pretty much on the same page, -1.
Oh, I said this is more agreements than I'm used to. I'm surprised, but we make our picks separate, and it is what it is. So next fight here is at 185. This is an absolute banger of a fight. Andrew Sanchez taking on Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva, kind of one of these guys I think is a very good kept secret so far in the UFC, if I'm being honest. I think he has a chance to be very, very exciting. Brazilian here, 32 years old, 20-6, taking on the 12-6, 33-year-old Andrew Sanchez. I'll be breaking down Bruno Silva first. Bruno Sanchez. Bruno Silva first. And here we go. Bruno Silva, as you can see, physical specimen, came back after a few years off and looked really good back in June to extend his win streak to 5 straight. That was his UFC debut against Wellington Turman. Wellington Turman, not great, but he put away in the first round and very impressively. Looked really good, showed his all-around skills in that first round. Artem Frolov was undefeated and a very good fighter. Beat him in the 4th round. Beat former Bellator champion Alexander Shlemenko by knockout in Russia. That's no joke at all. Just has very good wins. Fabio Aguera, back in the day, knocked him out. I mean, he's been very well tested before the UFC. Took 3 years off prior to his UFC debut and looked really, really good. He was on the USADA tainted supplement that it was proven to be, but he was on the USADA list for 2 years still. So, it's pretty unfortunate. But either way, he looked really good in his return. Was able to get up from a takedown as well, but definitely wrestling is going to have to be on point against Andrew Sanchez, I think, who kind of had fallen in love with his striking a little bit too much. It resulted in a loss in his last one. Fighting on TriStar for Sahabi, his coach, Makhmed Miradov. No shame in that, but got outboxed and just knocked out in that one. Also has a first-round knockout of Wellington Turman by ground and pound. So both guys, the last one was a Wellington Turman knockout. Sanchez did it first. 2 of his losses coming to Vittori and Miradov. No shame in those. Wins over Marcus Perez and Marc-Andre Barrio. Very good. Sanchez has at points had gas issues, but honestly, I don't think this is making.
Can you highlight that comment? Come on. Dirty Sanchez is fucking hilarious.
Dude's nickname is Dirty Sanchez. I mean, he has a good sense of humor, and he fights pretty dirty. I'll be honest; it's a fitting nickname. He fights pretty dirty in his fights, and honestly, I don't think this one's entering the 3rd round. I think the under 2.5 is a bet I definitely make on this fight, and I just think that Sanchez has been knocked out a few times, taking some pretty hard shots. If he doesn't make the wrestling work, and I don't think he has shown that's a game plan he sticks to. I think he's going to be in trouble here again. I like Bruno Silva. I like him by knockout in round number 1.
Do you want to repeat that because I yelled? Sorry.
No, you're okay. You don't have to. I like Bruno Silva, and I like him by first-round knockout.
Well, why don't we just agree on the last 2 spot on? I also have Bruno by knockout.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's so exciting. I can't believe Ramirez is going against Brazil. What are you doing, Ramirez? Breaking my heart.
Interesting.
She said, she's going to Andrew Sanchez. I get it. But, he often goes the distance. I think, what's his name? Blindado, which means armor in Brazil, I think, for Bruno. Can't go against that. So let's go with the Army Savage, dude. He's on a 5-fight win streak. I don't like the streaks, but I'm confident in this finish, man.
You don't like streaks. I forgot you don't like wins. I mean, he also has losses on his record, so he's showing he can come back from the adversity. That's good.
I like it.
All right.
I like Brazil, but I think he's more powerful. So I think it's going to be quick. I think he's going to come in fast, strong, explosive, and I think he's going to get a quick first round or second round KO. So.
Yep, and Bruno Silva -155 favorite, plus 130 on Andrew Sanchez. Pretty close odds. Vegas seems to think this is going to be a close one, and I'll be interested. I think these guys match up very well. Silva's definitely been on the hot streak, and I think Sanchez is one, if not two, maybe two fights away from a pink slip. So he's going to be fighting with a lot more motivation in this fight. So could be an X factor there. But should be a good fight there. It is the featured prelim. Moving on to the main card, staying in Brian Battle's division of the middleweight division here. And we are at 185 pounds, as I just said. Julian Marquez taking on Jordan Wright for the beginning of the main card here. It kicks off the main card. I think this should be a very entertaining fight. I've become a big fan of Jordan Wright, I'll be honest. I really have liked what I've seen. I used to be quite the doubter of him. He kind of was known as the guy who got knocked out clean by Anthony Hernandez on the Contender Series. But I'll be honest, he's really made amends for it since then. 12-1 for the Beverly Hills Ninja, which is a hilarious nickname. Head coached is Anthony Hardonk, as well as Vladimir Madushenko of Dynamics MMA. So two very veteran MMA fighters as your coaches, I think is fantastic. 6'2", 77-inch reach for the 185er here. Won his last fight out in fantastic fashion against Jamie Pickett inside or just outside of a minute. Knees and then ground and pound. I had Jamie Pickett in that fight. Sometimes the way you become a fan of a fighter is by picking against him. Before that, had a good fight with Joaquin Buckley, but just took some shots towards the end of the first round. Didn't really recover in between rounds, and then hook spun away in the second. Stopped Ike Villanueva, as well as getting a finish of Gabriel Checo, a very good wrestling and grappling opponent, to earn his way in from the LFA. Again, got knocked out by Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez was high on the weed, so it got taken away. But Jordan Wright, I really do compare him to a lot of his fighting style, like Wonder Boy. He's got a very good karate style, very bouncy on the stance, goes in and out, very good strikes. The chin might be a little bit of a question, just like with Wonder Boy even, but with the style, he stays out of a lot of trouble, I think, and I think he's the by far superior technical striker in this fight against Julian Marquez, but it's not a kickboxing fight, it's an MMA fight, and Julian is good at winning his MMA fights lately. The Cuban Missile Crisis 9-2, only 31 years old, had a lot of injuries to his neck and his back that almost ended his career, so he's really fought hard to get his career back. Syndicate MMA with Coach John Wood, really good camp he's coming out of. 6'2", 72-inch reach, so significant reach disadvantage. He's going to have to get inside, make it ugly. Fighters in the past have been able to do that against Jordan Wright, coming off wins of Sam Alvey and Maki Pitolo. The thing about both those fights, he was losing both those fights before he won them, but that's a skill in and of itself, I guess. Lost to Di Chirico before that by split decision. Did have a close fight against Darren Stewart. He's losing fights before he's winning them quite often. I don't think that if he gets behind against Jordan Wright, though, he's going to be able to have the same success. And this is probably my favorite dog on the card. I looked at the odds. I do like Jordan Wright quite a bit here. I think that his striking is far superior to Julian Marquez. Julian Marquez has to make this an absolute dogfight, get it to the ground, get inside on the strikes. I think that if he allows space and movement for Wright, it's going to be a long night or a very short night, either way. But I like Jordan Wright, and I think Jordan Wright's able to put away Julian Marquez in this fight. So Julian Marquez is able to survive against Alvey and Maki Pitolo in spots that he was nearly put away. And I think Jordan Wright is able to be the first to put away Julian Marquez here. So I'll give a I'll take a second round TKO for Jordan Wright here, and a statement win for him. Huge win, but yeah, I'm going with the dog. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I'm so confused. I'm confused. I didn't know who to put for this one. I wrote down Julian, but not confident is what I wrote next to it. Because I don't like anybody born in Beverly Hills. I think you're automatically born with a leg up, and I don't like it. He's got a fucking wicked long reach for a middleweight. 77 inches is kind of long. So he's got to reach. But then again, Julian's from Syndicate, and what kind of fucking nickname is the Cuban Missile Crisis? Were you praising Julian for choking out Sam Alvey, or were you, because Sam Alvey was on his way out, by the way?
Yeah. I was more praising Julian for like the, coming back against two guys, but also if you're losing to Maki Pitolo and Sam Alvey, I'm a little bit concerned with your level.
Okay.
Also.
All right. I just want to make sure I heard that correctly. I kind of checked. I was like, I'm not to discredit Sam Alvey, but he is on his way out. I think
he's 0-7 in his last 8 fights.
Yes,
and he's getting another fight.
I don't get it. I'm no hate, but like at what point?
No hate. No, I know, no hate. Of course, no hate. There's never any hate.
All right, so I might switch it to Jordan.
No, you need to stay confident.
No, I'm not confident. That's why I wrote not confident.
No, I'm not confident.
I wrote Julian out of spite because I read Beverly Hills and I went, fuck, I'm not voting for Beverly Hills. But like, he might actually win the fight. So my spite can only go so deep. And I think.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit spiteful towards Julian Marquez. I've just never been a big fan.
So we just have like opposite spites, and it's
opposite spites. With all due respect, also.
I don't give a shit who you pick. Anyone following your bets should probably listen to Aaron. He's like 9 of 10 every single time. But I'll take Julian because it's written on the clipboard. I'm not confident on this one. If I did bet on MMA, I would not be putting money on this fight because I'm really not sure. And it is MMA. Literally anything can happen. Wait, what did you say the odds were for this one? I love you. I'm not picking Julian, though. Sorry. I am picking Julian.
The odds are, you're not going to like this. Julian Marquez is the favorite. Minus 240.
Damn it!
A plus 190 underdog in Jordan Wright.
Dude, this is just textbook Vegas. Now, you know that Wright's going to win because
yeah, the money is.
I'm picking the favorite. I don't give a shit. I'm going.
The money's coming in on Julian Marquez. I'm a little bit surprised personally, but yeah, we'll have to see. Set 5-inch reach advantage for Mr. Wright. If he can use that, it's going to be a long night. Or a short night, like I said. If he can't, then it's going to be Julian's fight to lose, in my opinion. But
I know, but Jordan he's like another one that's a lot of round 1, right? So like, what are we looking at when stamina comes into play? I don't know.
He won in round 2 and round 3 in his last 2.
In his last 2?
Yeah, running round 2 and round 3. And he had a split decision against Chirico, which is a really solid. So I think this is totally.
Stick with the favorite here just for some nice static in the room. But again, I wrote not confident for a reason, and I'm still not confident. But I don't bet, so I don't give a shit. So roll with Aaron on this one.
Yeah, roll with the information and roll with it the way you want to. But
I'm going
moving on,
and I'm going decision. I don't think it's.
And I got right, and I'm getting a little bit overzealous in saying round 2 finish. Going on to the next fight here. We are at 125, one of my favorite prospects that doesn't have red hair at 125. Manon Ferro taking on Mayra Bueno Silva at fight that got rescheduled, has been pushed back to now. I'll be honest, I'm excited because of Manon Ferro, but Mayra Bueno Silva should not be discredited at all. I think she's being way too slept on. 7-1-1 Brazilian, 30 years old, 125, 5'6", 66.5-inch reach here for Shitara. She is coming off of, I believe, not her most impressive win, but she got a draw against Montana De La Rosa. I thought she won that fight. I went back and watched it, to be honest. But good fight, very close there. There was a fence grab by Silva that ended up costing her the fight, though. Cost her a point, so it ended up resulting in a draw. But besides that, would have had a win over Montana De La Rosa. So not a bad win at all, or bad performance at all, besides the fence grab. Just a little bit lackadaisical. Got a finish of Mara Romero Barella, which I don't rate too highly, but she did also armbar Jillian Robertson back in the day. Very impressive win there. Jillian was on a huge roll at that point as well. Has her decision loss against Morose that I went back and watched, though, and I think that is Manon Fiorot's blueprint to a T. It's going to be the active volume, the movement, the speed of Manon Fiorot, and the striking expertise. I just think that is going to give Silva a lot of problems. And if Silva can't get this to the ground, I think she's in a lot of trouble. And I'm just not sure how Silva gets this to the ground because her wrestling, I just don't rate too highly. So her ability to get it to the ground and on into the submission round, which she needs to win this, I'm not sure how she gets it there. So I got Manon, and I got Manon by a decision. I think she just kind of schools her for 3 rounds with the striking.
I don't. This is another one of those things where it's like we're looking at all the same. You and I are looking at all the same information. We're watching the same fights. And I got something totally different on my clipboard right here.
Tell me what you think.
I have Buena Silva by armbar, and I'm like going for it. I think she secures the clinch. I think not to count out Fiorot because she's cut, she's a savage, she's powerful, she's explosive. She punched the hell out of Richie. They're both terrifying. She's a heavy. Manon is a heavy-handed boxer, but I think that Buena Silva can secure a clinch, take her to the ground, and then submit her. And I'm going for it, and I'm locking it in. And it might be a wild pick, but I'm going for it.
I mean, yeah, Tabitha Ricci, who she took on in the last fight, Tabitha Ricci is a strawweight through and through, albeit a very good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player. But yeah, I think that, Manon, Victoria Leonardo, not a crazy tough UFC debut either. She was a champion with UAE Warriors. She beat a guy, but in UAE Warriors is a solid organization. She had a split decision against Leah McCourt for her pro debut. We've seen how good Leah McCourt is. Leah McCourt just won the Nogi Championship actually last week, as well as getting 2 straight submissions with Bellator. So, very good level of competition. You've got the dog here, Bunny. You've got the big Brazilian dog plus 190, minus 240 on Manon Fiorot. I do think Manon Fiorot is a parlayable piece for me, though. I think Manon really does take this one pretty clearly here as well. And I'm sorry, Thamaris. I think I let you down by not going with the Brazilian, but as usual, Bunny didn't let you down, so at least we're half good here. But yeah, this is another disagreement. So this is 4 disagreements. As soon as I said
they're even kill on size, though. So this, I mean, it's like it could.
Well, yeah, but not on. I don't think on stand-up skill at all.
That is so offensive.
What?
I don't know.
Making a breakdown.
I'm
it's just
so confident when I'm doing my breakdowns, and then I come on air and I'm like, this is so different than what Aaron's picking.
Yeah, well, no, but this is the beauty of the sport is that you can see it in so many different ways, and even if, it's just this is as soon as I said we were agreeing so much, we now have 4 disagreements.
That's true. This is gonna be a fun card.
But this card makes sense. This card should have disagreements on it. I think it's very, very close. So we're gonna move on to a fight that I'm interested to hear your opinion on, but Jim Miller and Eric Gonzalez. Gonzalez is hot chili pepper, I think, or something.
What is this fight, dude?
A very weird fight.
What
Jim
is this
Miller,
fight?
well, Jim Miller's been around for a long time, and they really are, making sure to match him up very cautiously, it seems, at this point. Taking on a newcomer and Eric Gonzalez, 14-5, taking on 32-16. Jim Miller, most fights ever in UFC history, 5'8", 71-inch reach against a 5'11", 74-inch reach. Eric Gonzalez, I will be breaking down first. The Ghost Pepper, 14-5, as I said, 29 years old, 5'11", 74-inch reach. 2 straight wins, albeit against a 5-3 Samuel Alves and a 7-5 Ozil Rodriguez. He lost the decision to Humberto Bondone, lost to Rafa Garcia, wins over Yoel Jimenez and Michael Tuxedo with Combate. I am not sure what he did to get his UFC contract. I'm not sure why he's on the main card here. I guess I'm going to keep this one pretty short. Jim Miller has the most fights in UFC history. He has fought Eric Gonzalez's before. I do not think Jim Miller's done yet. I get he's lost 2 straight. He lost by decision to Joe Selecki, no shame there, and Vince Prochel. 2 very good fighters, good grapplers, much better than Eric Gonzalez. Roosevelt Roberts got put away. Clay Guida, Jason Gonzalez. Scott Holtzman and Charles Oliveira get wins. Alex White.
Who hasn't he fought?
He fought everybody. Anthony Pettis, Dustin Poirier, Francisco
Cerrone's on there.
Dan Hooker, Michael Chiesa is on here.
Joe
Diego
Lozon
Sanchez,
twice.
Cerrone, Joe Lozon twice, Benil Dariush, Yancy Medeiros,
This dude's
Pat
seen
Gillen,
everybody.
Nate Diaz, Benson Henderson, Charles Oliveira twice. He knee-barred Charles Oliveira. Jason Tebow, just Dwayne Bang Ludwig. That is the coach of TJ Dillashaw. Steve Lopez. That's Steve Lopez. I'm sorry, but Eric Gonzalez, I can't pick him to beat Jim Miller here. I do not believe Jim Miller is completely washed here, unless he is. Fight Bananas saying that's bananas. That's ironic. I got Jim Miller here, and I got submission for Jim.
Oh, shit, curveball.
Yeah.
How do you go against the guy that's faced Cerrone, Pettis, Lozon? I know he lost. He beat Lozon, but
he's lost a bunch of these.
But he has faced them.
No, I agree, and he's giving them all tough fights.
There is something to be said for that. This motherfucker is 38 years old. He's still going. He's facing a 29-year-old. I think Gonzalez is 29, right? Not only that, Gonzalez has a height and reach advantage. So he's got the height, reach, and age advantage. And this motherfucker's like, I'm doing it. We're gonna take this fight. I'm gonna give it my all. I don't even know where to begin with Jim Miller's record. I mean, holy shit. But then again, I love ghost peppers, so
oh my god!
I don't know who to pick for this. Honestly, okay. I'm gonna make a pick right now, and it's just gonna be for the breakdown. But I win either way with this fight. I'm psyched to see who the fuck comes out on top. I think it's dope. This fucking Jim Miller guy.
I'm glad to know you like ghost peppers. That's no. I also like ghost peppers. So small world. Jim Miller minus 220 favorite plus 175. Plus 175 on Ghost Pepper, Eric Gonzalez. I like Jim Miller by submission here.
Ghost Pepper by, I don't fucking know. Let's go.
Okay, fair enough. I like it. Another disagreement. We are going to have different scores most likely by next week, but we will see. Co-main event time. This is kind of an interesting co-main event. I will put it this way, but I think this is going to be a better fight than people think. Andre Aravlovsky against Carlos Felipe is the fight. Just write down the timestamp here. There we go. I will be breaking down Carlos Felipe, the Brazilian first here, the blonde Brazilian, 12-1 or 11-1, I should say, out of Feira de Santana, Bahia, Brazil. 26 years old, weighed in at 262 for his last fight, so he is pushing that 265 limit. 6 foot, 75-inch reach against the American top team. Represented 42-year-old Belarusian, 31-20 salty record. 6'3", 77-inch reach for Aravlovsky, weighed in at 250. So getting a little bit heavier in his older age, but still not pushing that 265 limit that Felipe most likely will be pushing in this fight. Felipe's on a 3-fight win streak against Jorgen De Castro, Justin Tafa, and Jake Collier. He had a split decision over Justin Tafa, a split decision over Jake Collier, however, which is you never really like to see, honestly. Jorgen De Castro, not that great either. Also lost the decision to Sergey Spivak in his debut, where Spivak kind of controlled with the grappling a little bit. Not something Aravlovsky is going to look to do. I think, in short, this is going to end up being a boxing basically a glorified boxing match. I don't think either guy goes for a takedown. Ends up being a stand-up war. I think Carlos Felipe is his strength is definitely the volume that he throws. Aravlovsky is going to have to use his movement, more precise shots, and a little bit of power early to get the respect of Felipe. If he doesn't, I think this could be a pretty long night for Aravlovsky, with Felipe in his face, clinching a lot against the cage. Pitbull coming off of a win, 31-20, a win of Chase Sherman in his last fight in April. Did lose to Tom Aspinall, but has won 3 of his last 4. Got a decision win over Tanner Bozer, a decision win over Felipe Lins. Honestly, I think that Aravlovsky navigates Felipe well here, uses the movement, uses his intelligence and technical striking, and edges out a decision against Felipe. I think this is going to be a very close fight. Could very well be a split, but I got to go with, again, the old guard here. Another OG in Aravlovsky by decision for me. What's your thoughts?
Choice. We finally agree. After all those disagreements, we agree on Aravlovsky by decision. And a loss to Tom Aspinall is not anything to hang your head on.
Nope. He was giving Tom Aspinall a great first round there.
A fucking rear naked choke by him, too. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. After, bomb machine him with that takedown.
That's crazy. That was good. He's 42 years old. I still can't believe he's fighting. You got to give respect to any fucking veteran who's still fighting at that age with fucking 50 fights on your record. That's insane to me. But Brazil, Felipe's from Brazil. I have a tough time going against Brazil. He's only 26. He's on a 3-fight win streak. I think streaks need to end sometime, and I think the old vet is going to take him out. I do think it will go to the distance, and I think Andre is going to take it by decision. I don't think he's done yet either. I can't believe he's fucking 42 years old. That's just insane to me.
Yeah, 42 at heavyweight is by no means done. You're you got
no,
another.
I know, but still, it's still amazing to me. That's Tom Brady age.
Okay, I'm confused, Mo. We've disagreed on 5 fights tonight, so I don't know if you're not paying attention, but I'm also giving my picks before Bunny, and it's not that we agree with each other. We both give our picks separate. So just quick.
I have everything written down, so no matter whether we agree or not, it's all here.
100%. I think this is a very close fight. The odds agree with this being a close fight. -110 for Aravlovsky as the very slight underdog to the -120 in Felipe. It's basically a pick 'em though, so they're expecting a close fight. I think these guys go the distance in this one. They're both tough. I don't think it's going to go on the ground much. I think it's going to be mostly a stand-up kind of tactical affair. The sirens are out here, so good old another peaceful night in DC. But yeah, Aravlovsky's lost to guys like Sakai, guys like Rosenstruck. I don't think Felipe is in that level of guy, and I'm not a big Felipe fan either. So maybe I'm being a little biased here. I'll be honest, but I do like Aravlovsky's experience in just the movement, and 42 by no means over. And heavyweight division. Moving on to the main event of the evening, 145 fight between Norma Dumont and Aspen Ladd. Already went over my soapbox saying I'm not crazy about Aspen Ladd getting a main event spot after missing weight last week. But either way, I'm going to focus on it being a fantastic fight. Also, thank you so much to everybody in the comments joining. We once again have had double-digit viewers throughout the breakdown. We know why that's for, but appreciate you joining the entire breakdown here. Absolutely. Great breakdown, Bunny, so far. I've enjoyed, as always, getting to break down these fights with you.
I haven't yelled that much. This has been a relatively calm, collected breakdown. Don't you feel like?
I hope you're okay. If anything's all right, yeah, just
I'm
you're
okay.
you're so
weird.
calm.
I haven't raised my voice above. I'm watching this little bar on my mic. It hasn't gone to red yet, which is crazy.
Well, I almost think you're so prepared that it's almost made you like Zen this week. You just
I feel so prepared, but I'm like, this can't be right. This can't be right.
Nope. We're gonna work on that confidence of yours, Buns.
Because a very big deal. Thanks for that very big deal comment. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but here we go with the main event here. Aspen Ladd and Norma Dumont, the immortal Norma Dumont. Aspen Ladd is 26 years old. Norma Dumont, 31. Aspen Ladd, 5'6", 66-inch reach against a 5'7", 67-inch reach of Norma Dumont. Aspen Ladd, we broke her down quite a bit when we were breaking down the Macy Chazan fight. I'll go into it a little bit. 9-1 for the 26-year-old out of Colorado, or now fighting out of California, I should say. MMA Gold Fight team has not fought since December of 2019 when she took on Yana Kunatskaya. Was supposed to fight in 2020. Juliana Pena got injured, and then Aspen Ladd tore her ACL and MCL, unfortunately. And then Chazan had an injury in July, and then she had her weight issue in last week. Said it had to do with menstruation as well as other things. But yeah, I don't cut weight. I also don't menstruate. So I'm not going to really comment on that too much. But honestly, with Aspen Ladd, I do feel that professionalism is a little bit of a question there, because she does appear to have weight to be able to even make it to 125 at a certain point. She's not a massive 135er. And I mean that with all due respect. Now moving up to 145, taking on an absolutely thick tree trunk of a woman in Norma Dumont. Norma Dumont is a 145er. And Aspen Ladd was struggling with Yana Kunatskaya before the third round blitz that she came out with the finisher. Got put away by Jermaine Durandamy really roughly in that fight, which was her first main event. And so I do kind of have some questions with her durability, her chin, ability to take shots from large opponents. Faced Cynthia Calvillo as an amateur, so that's good. Sajara Eubanks and Invicta, she had a win over. Very good. Lena Landsberg and Tanya Evinger, as well as Sajara Eubanks again as in the UFC. So decent to good wins there. But Norma Dumont really surprised me in her last fight and has me thinking much more about her as a legit featherweight opponent. The Brazilian now on a 2-fight win streak, 6-1. She had a really competitive fight with Felicia Spencer, ended up getting the split decision win, but her striking looked really impressive in that fight. Had Felicia Spencer pretty hesitant. Felicia Spencer, a former title challenger, looking really, really good. I just think that Norma is the legit featherweight here and going to show, I think, why there's weight classes, because I think Norma's going to be much thicker, much stronger, and Aspen's going to have to be very quick, very, very accurate and speedy with her punches. I kind of question how much she's recovered from her bad weight cut and everything, and even having the 10 less pounds. There's a reason why I think she fights at 135. I think she could be a 125er. She's now fighting at 145 against a legit 145er. I'm going to take ever so closely, Norma Dumont. I might really regret this, but I got Norma Dumont knocking out Aspen Ladd in round 1.
Oh, round 1. I didn't say round 1, but I got Dumont by KO. I don't know about round 1.
Okay, like what are your kind of thoughts on this fight and Aspen Ladd in the main event overall?
I know you said you liked the way Aspen Ladd fought. I'm kind of indifferent, and I think that this whole fight cancellation and missed weight was like a huge blow to her psyche. I think that shit is underestimated in terms of what it can do to a fighter. And this was a quick fight reschedule from her last match, dude. I can't believe that she was so quickly given a main card event after missing weight, and then having to deal with that bad publicity. Like, that shit is amazing to me. I couldn't believe I saw her name on that. I mean, whatever. Yeah. I'm going Dumont and I'm going KO. I didn't think round 1, but I like it.
I mean, she's been KO'd in round 1 before by Jermaine Durandame, former featherweight champion.
She super has. It's always like, ooh.
Yeah, and I think the weight difference is going to make a big difference. Yeah. Watching Felipe Spencer had to kind of think twice after getting hit by Dumont, and Felipe Spencer being a very legitimate featherweight competitor and contender herself, I really think that says something about Dumont. She's getting much more comfortable in the UFC with each fight, I just, I kind of
one on their record, and I think it's
and I just kind of question how much Ladd was able to recover from the illness and the reason she had to be pulled from the fight.
Exactly.
So
physically and mentally, those are two.
Yeah, and I don't, I'm not trying to make conspiracy theories or connect dots, but I don't think the UFC would be doing her any favors. And okay, second or third, that's fine, Mo. Then go second or third round. I just think KO. I'm not predicting. I'm not predicting the time. I don't care about the time.
Aaron, you've been getting a little snippy lately with the comment section.
Just once in a while, like the things they split hairs between. I'm like, okay, dude. Like, it's possible she's gotten first round KO. Fine, second or third. It's just a stupid thing to disagree on. Next, I'm going to get a comment from Brandon saying, timestamps without fucking messaging me. I'm sorry. I'm at the end of 24.
That's right. Stand up for yourself, Aaron.
I am going to stand up for myself, Buns. I need some fucking, I need some wine. I need some food. I need to, call it, just for Norma Dumont here. Apparently, it's a Norma Dumont fucking chat here too.
I know, right? They're all going Dumont.
I was expecting to have to defend that against all y'all, but everybody's on Norma Dumont. Now I'm nervous. Right before we sign off for the night from another absolutely dope breakdown. I'm sorry, Thamaris, that you had to see me that way. I forgot that you were here. Let me compose myself for you. I'm sorry. Sorry. Not for Bunny, not for anybody else, just for Thamaris.
That's right. My girl.
All right, apologize. Before we sign off for the evening, and hopefully, Bunny, you enjoyed the breakdown tonight. I know I did. I had a great time breaking down, as always, with you. We are absolutely killing it. Thank you to the chat. We're going to go through what Brandon is not familiar with. It's called Quick Picks. I think these are definitely worth it since we are going to disagree on several fights tonight. So without any further ado, Ariana Carnelossi, I should say, versus Estela Nunez. I have Carnelossi. And you?
Oh. No, I'm not good at quick picks. I'm like Brandon.
You have Carnelossi also.
I'm not good at the quick pick. Carnelossi too. Yeah, we agree.
Yep. At 135 for the next fight, Brandon Davis versus Danan Bajiri. I have Danan Bajiri.
I have Brandon Davis.
All right. First disagreement of many. Ludovic Klein versus Nate Ledware. I have Ludovic Klein, albeit hesitant.
I also have Klein.
Okay. I'm back on the agreement train. Obviously, we both have Lupita Godinez over Luana Carolina, always. Ramazan Imiev versus Danny Roberts. I got Imiev.
I have Imiev as well.
All right. Next, Bruno Silva versus Andrew Sanchez. Bruno Silva.
Bruno.
All right, next fight, main card, Jordan Wright versus Julian Marquez. Jordan Wright over here.
Julian. Bitch!
Next fight, Manon Ferro versus Myra Bueno Silva. I'm shocked I have Ferro.
Bueno, Silva!
I'm shocked. That is one I was not expecting to disagree on. This was also one I wasn't expecting to disagree on. Jim Miller versus Eric Gonzalez. Ghost Pepper. I have Jim Miller.
Jim Miller, Ghost Pepper.
Jim Miller. You have Ghost Pepper?
Yes!
All right. Just making sure that people knew. Andre Aravlovsky, Carlos Felipe, Andre Aravlovsky.
Aravlovsky as whale.
And Norma Dumont versus Miss Aspen Ladd. We both have Norma Dumont.
Dumont.
And with that, we are at the end of the most subdued bunny breakdown show of all time. She was so prepared. I think it calmed her down. But nonetheless, fantastic information, fantastic disagreements here. Bunny, follow Boston Comments if you're not. You already all are. Aaron the Dog MMA for all breakdowns available. I have Bellator breakdown up right now with Lewis of Norton MMA, who was with us earlier. Shout out to him. Shout out to Miz. Shout out to Thamaris. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Mo T. Shout out to anybody who I forgot. Tony Baseballs.
Dapper Media. Tony Baseball.
Dapper Media.
Podcast.
All Glassjaw Podcast. Boston Comments especially, though. Shout out to you, Bunny. Another fantastic breakdown tonight. It was great to do the breakdown with you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Keep taking care of each other. And until next time, we are out. Goodbye, everybody.